Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a repair video for Mr. Somonath. You can see we got our wind damaged shingle right here. It is already lifting. You can see the creasing over here at the top. See if I can get a closer look. Yeah, so see this creasing over here at the top? It's already a wind lifted shingle. Alright, so this is the workspace area that we're going to be having. I already did the liberty of marking it, so I know since this is the end of my shingle, then I will have to unseal this one as well as this one, and the same thing over here. All right, it is 60 degrees today. We're on the back side of Mr. Sama's roof. I'm by myself today. Got my tripod and my replacement shingle. So before we take a look, before we start and conduct this repair, let's take a look at the rest of Mr. Sama's roof. You can see it's an extensive amount of granule loss, but he has gutter guards, so they do not track into the gutters, or at least I cannot see them. Let's take a look up here. So you got some missing shingles up here, more creased shingles. This is just an extent of the damage on the back of Mr. Sama's roof, being heavily affected by the wind. You also have another ribbed shingle with the dragon teeth missing, another crease as well. All right, so now that we got everything set up, let's go ahead and start by conducting this repair video. Again, I am the only one on this roof, so I have my tripod set up. Let's make sure I got a good angle for you guys. Alright, so the tools I'm going to be using to conduct this repair, got our standard pry bar with a P-hook on the end. Now this tool is the preferred tool. It's a really great tool for unsealing shingles. You see how nice and thin it is compared to the roof snake. So you can see the roof snake is much larger, much thicker tool. Not great for unsealing shingles. In fact, you will end up tearing a shingle if you try to unseal it with this. So this is just nice side-by-side comparison, so you can see how slick and thin this one is compared to the roof snake, which is large and would end up tearing a shingle. And this is the only way that you would actually unseal the shingle with a slim tool. Otherwise, you would just end up damaging it. So besides those two tools, okay, let me go more on the roof snake. The roof snake is gonna allow us to actually nail everything back into place without lifting it more than 40 degrees. We'll actually place a nail right here and we'll just hammer it away. Then we also have our standard hammer. So this is what we're going to be using to actually nail the shingle back in place. Let's go ahead and conduct this repair. So now I know this is my wind damaged shingle, so I'm going to go ahead and start by unsealing from right to left. So as I unseal the shingle, you're going to notice I keep my palm down, fingers up in the air as I cut away from the tar line. Let's go ahead and get started. And the reason I keep my palm down is actually so I can put pressure on the shingle as I cut away from the tar line, and my crowbar doesn't just rip right through the shingle. So I'm going to check underneath for any mat transfer. Not seeing much, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and do our next shingle. Again, palm down, fingers up in the air as I cut away from the tar line. Right. So now, check for mat transfer. Looks like we're good. Next shingle. Check again for mat. I am seeing a little bit of mat on this one. Now we are on our last shingle. Right, let's go ahead. So we're good. Now that everything is unsealed, so go ahead and start by removing the nails. And I won't be lifting up the shingle more than I have to. I'll be lifting up with one finger, the rest of my fingers up in the air. If need be, I'll rest them on the shingle above. Never the same shingle I'm working on. Let's go ahead, take a look. So let's go in there, take it nice and easy, press down on the nail a little bit. I like to just go in there one hand. It's actually preferred method as well, unless I have the nails are deeper in, but I'll just go in with one hand so the shingles don't have to lift up more than they have to. This is the best way of removing the nails. All right, now we got that one. Next nail. Again, after I get the nail up, just go in there and scoop it with one hand. Right. Then just double check, make sure that's everything in that row. Again, I'm not lifting up the shingle more than 40 degrees. I got my fingers up in the air, thumb on the shingle I'm lifting. If I need be, I'll put my, just like we got one nail here. But if need be, I'll put my fingers on the shingle above. Never the same one that I'm working on. This one's a little embedded. could be all the nails. Just a little harder to tell. Looked like there was one more nail, but I think we should be good. Let's just move on to the next row. Again, I'm lifting it up, one hand. Just go in there with my pry bar. Not lifting it up more than 40 degrees. Go in there with the P-hook end. Just remove it one-handed. Again, lifting it up just enough so I can see where the nails are. Alright. So some of them are a little embedded deeper. So I can't actually reach in there with the P-hook end. I'm going to have to go in there with the long end. Yeah, not really sure why they remove some of these nails. I mean, install some of these nails in odd places, a bit of an angle. But again, I'm going to do my best to remove every nail without lifting up the shingle more than 40 degrees. Keep my fingers up in the air. Go in there. Alright, got the nail. Go in there one-handed and remove the nail. See if that's everything. Again, the way they installed this roof, it does look like some of the nails are embedded at a bit of an angle, and they're just harder to see and harder to remove. Let's go ahead. All right, looks like we got some more nails. Got my fingers up in the air. Not lifting up the shingle more than I have to. I found them. See if there's any more. Yep. Got another one right here. Press down, go in there one-handed. And again, I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, guys. Bear with me. It just seems like some of these nails are just really hard to spot. Could be from the shadowing, just how they placed everything. Thank you guys for taking the time out. Some of them are at an angle as well, so they're harder to spot. This one's at a bit of an angle, so I'm gonna have to go in there with the long side. It looks like I can finish it off. Alright, got it. Alright, so that right side is loose now. Let's see what we're missing over here. I do apologize again. Just seems that some of these nails are a lot deeper and harder to spot. So this one's all the way up here. Yeah, so it looks like this last nail is actually underneath the other shingle, so I'm not going to be able to get it by normal means. So what I'll have to do, since it is in an unreachable position, I'll keep pressure on the shingle that I'm working on, and I'll put my hand underneath and just slightly remove it. All right, keeping pressure down. Actually, let me see. I think there's one right here. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to reach it, so I'll have to put pressure down and just pop it out. This is just a result of how they installed the roof. All right, got pressure. All right, that came out pretty simple. Alright, so now that we got our damaged shingle removed, let's go ahead and get a closer look. So again, I did have to put some pressure down on the shingle and pop out that last nail. You can see it was all the way up here, so it was underneath everything and just impossible to reach without lifting up the shingle too high. Alright, so this is our damaged shingle. Unlike the previous installers, I will be nailing this shingle back in a correct manner without having the nails appear too high. Just make sure I got a good angle. Didn't notice my camera shift a little bit. All right. So we got our replacement shingle right here. So this is our replacement shingle. This is the shingle we're going to be using to conduct the repair. Let's go ahead and slide that in. Hope I didn't take up too much of your time removing the last nail. So it looks like there's another nail in the corner. Let's go ahead and reach under there with my hand. So this is the nail that the shingle was actually stuck on. It appears to still be popped up. So I have to go underneath with my pry bar and actually get that nail open. Otherwise it won't allow me to install this new shingle properly. Looks like it popped up. Just go in there. Alright. Got the shingle. The nail. Alright. And again, this is just how they installed the roof. I won't be putting the nails back in that way. So now we can put our new shingle back into place. Not having any issues. Again, and I only had to lift the shingle up like that just because of how they nailed it in. I just couldn't get underneath there with the pry bar. I had to just feel it with my hand. Alright, so now that we got our new shingle installed, we're gonna go ahead and pull out our roof snake. Try to hurry this up for you guys, less chatting, just because I know I did take a bit of your time removing that last nail, trying to find it. So let's hurry this up. I am gonna be putting the nails on the strongest point of the shingle, which is the dragon tooth. So just go in there, lift it up, one finger. Again, lifting it no more than 40 degrees. This tool allows me to do just that. Go in, make sure the tool is straight, start hammering. Alright. And then I go in. This is how you finish it off. You just remove it, lay the top on it, and then just make sure that the nail's nice and flush. Okay, on to the next one. I'm seeing a bit of granule loss from hammering that nail in. Just want to let that to be known. Right, next nail. Go in there again. Make sure it's nice and flush. And again, you see I lift up the shingle. I'm not lifting up more than 40 degrees. And with this tool, it doesn't allow the shingle to be lifted up more than 40 degrees as well. It's a perfect tool for installing shingles without having to lift it up more than you have to. All right. Pop it out. Last two nails for this row. Gonna try to speed everything up for you guys. Finished off, make sure it's nice and flush. And again, I am putting the nails on the dragon teeth. They're just a stronger point for the nails. Last two nails. All right, on to the last nail. So now that we got our new shingle installed, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Again, sorry. So it looks like my phone overheated just at the end. But yep. Now that we got a closer look at the shingle, you can go ahead. This is our new shingle that we installed. Not the same color. In no way, shape, or form does Mr. Somonath wish his roof to stay like this. But you can see right here, this is the direct result from conducting the repair. You can see crease in here, 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 as well as here, 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 here. So let's get a closer look. So this is the damage that occurred from conducting the repair. And again, you guys saw me take my time. I didn't lift the shingle up more than I had to. This is just a direct result from conducting the repair. And I know towards the end, that last nail was really embedded up really high underneath everything, wasn't able to get it, and I still took my time removing it. But this is the direct result of conducting repair. All this damaged shingles above. We're on our lowest point of Mr. Somonath's roof. If we continue to push these repairs upwards, we're just going to be running into the same issues. It's just going to be a domino effect. With that being said, this repair is going to be seen as a fail. All right. Let's get another overview look of the damage. I thank you guys for taking the time out to watch this video. You guys have a blessed day.